Tang, joined by Sulhi, Azman and Charlotte Chong. Now today the market KLCI was up 7.5 points. Yesterday it rallied over 30 points after the Prime Minister has announced measures to prop up the stock market. But it seems today that the market is not very convinced of these measures, Sulhi.
Well, I think the market is still having a knee-jerk reaction towards the announcement by the Prime Minister yesterday. But today it was up in the morning trade. It took a breather after lunch a bit. But I think the market needs to take a breather. It's a public holiday tomorrow anyway for Hari Malaysia.
Right, and I was looking through a report by Alliance DBS. It remains cautious. It maintains its year-end target of 1,520 points. Now, this is one of the lower targets if you compare to other research houses.
At the same time, we also see CIMB Bank, coming out with a research report using the word beleaguered. Right.
And hence, the impact was immediate and the ringgit actually recovered. But let's get to Charlotte, who has more.
Well, KLCI continued yesterday's rally, closing 0.46% up at 1,647 points. You guys had a point. After our Prime Minister announced to allocate about 20 billion ringgit funds to value cap to prop up the market, the KLCI actually saw some positive reaction, rallying 0.46% today and about 36 points yesterday. Now, I am not fully convinced that this amount of money can actually prop up the economy. Probably it would actually support the equity market for a short term, but not for a long term. CIMB Research came up with a report and said that economic measures are not enough to help the economy, as consumers are struggling with goods and services tax implemented in April this year, and also of the weakening of ringgit. Now, when we look at our Asian regional market,
affect private consumption growth.
It would, yes. When we look at the Asian regional market, Asian shares have struggled today as investors are waiting for Fed to announce a big thing, whether they are going to increase the interest rates by the end of this week. Now, do you think Janet Yellen will pull the trigger by the end of this week?
I don't know. It's getting
it's very mixed.
Opinions.
Mixed opinion.
It gets closer, then it's.
Now, many economists actually believe that US won't do it at all until the end of this year, because we see volatility in the global markets and also the slow growth in the Chinese market. And Brent crude oil prices deep about 6% because of the weakness in the Asian regional market. It is 6% to $46.31 a barrel. Back to you guys.
Actually, on that, over the weekend, I interviewed this chief strategist in Phillip Capital. So he actually said that the Federal Reserve should actually raise interest rates by this year, because if they don't do it this year, they would have missed opportunity, because he expects the US economy to peak this year.
But at the same time, the market needs a bit more clarity on whether the market, Janet Yellen is going to pull that trigger this year. I mean, whether it's not October or maybe December.
Right.
Who knows?
So thanks for that, Charlotte. So now on to our hot top of the day. For our hot top of the day, we have Aemulus Holdings Berhad. So it got listed today. It marks the 8th listing of the year. And today the shares were up 41%.
41%? Wei Lynn, what do you make out of that?
39.5 cents.
To 39.5
Not that
cents.
big of a...
They priced the IPO price at 28 cents, and then they debuted at 38 cents, and it went up and down. It peaked at a point of 44 cents during the intraday trading, and it settled at 39.5 cents today. Now the question, Wei Lynn, is that would you settle for 28 cents? Or is somebody not pricing the IPO at the right price?
You're saying it could have been priced higher, so they could have actually raised more money.
More money, correct. In fact, if you look at the IPO today, Aemulus, they raised about 25 million ringgit, of which the bulk of it will be used 50% for their working capital to pay the salaries and also to expand their workforce as they gear up to expand geographically and also locally as well.
Well, I don't know. I mean, today, right now, in the local scene as well as in the region, right, talking about equity markets are rather slow, rather weak. So maybe the company is practicing a more safe, a more conservative stance to ensure a healthier take-up rate of its office share.
Maybe they are just being prudent. But anyway, Affin Huang today, there has an initiation report on Aemulus Holdings, right? They have a buy call with a target price of 37 cents. But as you know, the price has passed above that.
But I think we haven't really gotten to what Aemulus does. So basically, it designs and develops automated test equipment for the semiconductor manufacturers, which are to be used in mobile phones, in tablets. So now one of their main clients are Avago. Avago, right? So it contributes about 60% to its revenue. And Avago is actually one of the biggest semiconductor companies in the world. So like for like Aemulus, its peer would be Inari Emetron, which is also locally listed.
Also Vitrox as well.
Yeah.
So, and I think Affin Huang also said that the Aemulus has also room for growth as well. They are expanding into the data center storage testers, right, as they seek to expand their revenue base and also marks their presence into that arena.
Right, its next big leap for Aemulus will actually come from the data center storage testers as the growth in cloud computing and Internet of Things accelerates. So now this will actually provide Aemulus with an additional revenue kicker come 2016.
At the same time, Aemulus is also the beneficiary of the weaker ringgit and the strengthening of the US dollar.
Right.
As also most of 60% of the semiconductor testing equipment, especially sales, are denominated in the greenback.
Yeah, that's right. And also, what else? Yeah, and also, Affin Huang projects Aemulus to achieve a net profit CAGR, compounded annual growth rate of 32% in the next 3 years.
Is that too optimistic, though, given the current volatile economy?
I don't know. While they're actually riding the USD play, right, because 60% of its sales is denominated in USD. When I met Inari Emertron a few weeks back, they did also caution of the input costs, because in terms of capex, in terms it's actually in US dollar, and yeah, so perhaps that's one thing to watch out for as well.
That is correct as well. And you know, at the same time, Affin Huang says the stock has a 32% upside as the research firm likes its strong growth profile and prospects, underpinned by new product launches and continuing refreshment into existing lineups.
Right, and also its product strength. Apparently, Aemulus is said to be the most efficient testers available, having the best throughput per dollar in the market. But we still have to see, though. I mean, the shares are up 41%, and recent listings like Imas Jaya, BioAlpha, Dolphin, actually, they're all trading above their offer prices, yeah.
Except for Malakoff, right, who has been beaten down by investors' continued siege, you know. But I think it remains to be seen whether Aemulus can sustain and buck the trend.
Right. To take it all away, Aemulus Holdings, it was listed today. It marks the 8th listing of the year. It raised about 25 million ringgit. It jumped 41% today. Affin Huang is positive on the stock, but it's interesting to see how the stock would trade in the coming times.